Our friends, the very idol itself. Everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Urianje will send word if there are any developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns etheric fluctuations which have been previously attributed to good King Mughal Mog XII. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the 12's wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility warrants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Celia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Ul'dah, this time, are come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave to gave the Domans At present they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see, mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Celia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Sirs, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. What I can do. I'm a warrior, not a diplomat. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Menphilia and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. So be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourselves. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, Antecedent? I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one that Wagat took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as wouldn't sully his soul sooner than his palms. And he wrote, the flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us up. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run. The only question was where. Then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? They'd surely do the same for us. I feel the situation is rather more complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Doman's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstance. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. Yeah, we kind of had to, you know, get a lot of friends in high places to help us. But we've nowhere else to go. You're turning your back on us? If I might have a word. Tataru! Tataru is miss? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What? What? How? Is it serious? I cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild apparently, lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right, why would they? It must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells, all the blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tries to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. Lady. We're not ones to stand idly by and watch innocents suffer. However, until we know more of the circumstances surrounding this riot, I'm not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can he be so blind? Find Alphino, and quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have you and none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papa Lima will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, sirs. I mean, if the refugees if they are seen at least by Ul'dah as instigating it, then we can't exactly go against Ul'dah. We're going up against an entire city-state. Got a maid cafe? Oh boy. Hello, is Alphino alright? You look like you're fine.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dah, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dah way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers, while more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. and you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grant companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Is this one? There's a lot more voice acting. Like sections where there's voice acting. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident like this, of this kind, would eventually occur given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reasons to believe that this particular riot may not have begun spontaneously. Do I piqued your curiosity? Good. Then you will accompany me to the Hall of Flames, or to hear what General Raban has to say upon the matter. Yeah, what that guy gotta say? What he gotta say? What he gotta say? What he gotta do? What he got? There's a hollow. Knocked over my cup. Yep, damn it. Now's not a good time, Ceres. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alpha now, back on your feet already? You may credit my swift recovery to your chirurgeons. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout the Thanalan. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents, but progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given that the majority of refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed that several of the refugees were armed, and not with butcher's knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. No one can deny that tensions between Old Dawn citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Domans were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who have not even a single gil to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the Immortal Flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to the point. Very well. My point, General, is that this powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now order must be restored. That is my first duty. Until it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The General is no fool. He keeps his own counsel, and with good cause. Were he to claim, without the necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monetarists would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been the most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Ceres. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. You may balk at a request for such information, but I have no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Hey, you sure got a way of just knowing stuff. Look as though you have something to say, Sarah, do you? What you ask is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An able individual may be better suited to this task than the regiment. Very well. The Brass Blades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Who would name a place Lost Hope? What brings you here, adventure? A search for refugees? Oh, then you come to the right place. Ah, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, are content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently, gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated, and say I was sad to see him go. A friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report? Refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return, and increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Zazawaka? Who is this Zazawaka? Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face. Are you not the woman from the church of Saint Adama Langdama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of the thugs who have been tormenting us. If Leofric bid you speak with me, then I take it you've agreed to help. Don't be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under that fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed? Ah, a childish fantasy. Did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent, and you will understand why. Even now, he babbles incoherently. So traumatized is he by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I have no doubt that merchant will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What are you doing? Don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. Be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? Loathe. Who are you? What do you want? It's true. I followed the merchant and may the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons he had brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. I thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs. But then they started arguing, and then fighting. Then everyone was fighting. The flames were shouting to give no quarter, and, oh gods, the other group, they're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope, but to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason, or the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. A pox on all bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous. The gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though they were forced to confront reality. That's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one woman. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Is that the merchant that we were talking that we were that was being all spooky? I think he's gonna try to. He led these people to revolt, but in reality, he wanted to get to just give them a reason to get killed. 7 hells! They found us. Everyone, grab your gear and make for the rendezvous point. Well, that's your game, is it? Ah, sorry to disappoint you, lass, but we're more than willing to kill you ourselves. Now they're stunning me. Oh god, I'm gonna die. I gotta go to bed. Alright, good night. Thanks for coming by. Oh my god, there's somebody there. Holy shit. Beat up like it was nothing. It's all almighty. What are we gonna do now? You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What of the twins? What happened? I see. Well, you had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? Oh, but where else would he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. Like we gotta stop him from going to Stone's Throw. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but was waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must be endured before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Stone's Throw. Oh. Kid? Have you seen my parents? He told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Oda. The man said they were gonna change everything, make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. Didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, miss, are you looking for someone? Looking for that merchant. You mean the man who left with my parents? I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, which of these gullible fools shall be my next? Oh, you're not getting away from me, buddy. Getting away. Go get him, miss. I got magic armor. You really think you're gonna be able to get away from me? You again? Why are you pursuing me? Sedition, treason, revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with these lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees who terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Ha! You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I will not accompany you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. For the sake of argument, let us say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a chicken's ass about politics. It was business. Only business. Grr. Got a bow. We both know I am not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Don't tell me he's gonna get killed. Oh my god. What's all this commotion? Doesn't help that I've got a bow with me. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. Okay, so they guess they'll know that I wouldn't actually kill someone. Also, why would I use a bow like right in front of him? Hold, adventurer. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. You got shot from like over yonder. This man was responsible for the recent riots? Mayhap we owe his murderer a debt of gratitude? In any case, it is obvious you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry on with your investigation, Scion. Whiffed? What news, Ceres? Where's the merchant? Dead. Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Ceres. He was silenced. Everybody knew his face, and he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots sooner than you realize. I hope. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries, as well as the results of our own investigation. Master Alphina has recently been informed and should be waiting for you. Outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. I got some stuff to... What do I got right now? 80? Up that. 91! But how broken am I? Promenade, right? It's all the way at the fucking top, right? Yeah. Remember rule. Auto. Riri Auto. Auto. Why is there always so many people here? We have been expecting you, madam. Please proceed inside. All right.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill, a shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagon ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Alagon monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cotonou Flats, given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation. Destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Ul'dah.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
That little fucker wants to get a fucking Omega weapon? Oh, it's off now. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought that all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think they intended to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you are already well positioned to do so, Private Serene. Pray help us informed of any developments in Cartano. Begone, whelp! This is no place for children. Isn't that the little girl that... I'm sorry, it is. I was looking for you, miss. You said you were looking for the man who left with my parents. You know this girl? He'd help me find the merchant. He visited Stone's Throw as well, I see. Did you find the man? Where were my parents with him? Or were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course, but first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. She's telling me a secret, you see, so no one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me by that pillar over there? We require but a moment. Okay, mister, I'll be waiting. Take her to the quicksand. Mayhap Momodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an ether-starred primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. Sometimes I fear Minfilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources, and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. Sirs, this is Minfilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation in the Tollswood has taken a turn for the worse. I will explain in detail once you arrive. Yeah, so we got fucking Revolution in Ul'dah and a possible Primal in the Twelveswood. 12s would. The primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I've received no reports of XIV activity, which leaves the sylphs? Plus there is, you know as well as I that the appearance of a primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that, while I am grateful for her concern, she needn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. I think I'm gonna queue up for these other ones. What's this one tell me? Oh, not that one. Tempera Deep Craft Heart. Damn, that queue time went from 17 minutes to 6, 7. It is a relief to see you healthy and hale, Ceres. The latest news from Old Dawn was most disturbing. Clearly, the only injury Alphinaud suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you were it not urgent. Business then, I have received some disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Reimu. Sorry, you may have, then it is not certain? The Elder Seedsir informs us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlings, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, antecedent, but that fact need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Reimu is reputed to only act in the defense of his children. Imagine he would soon make his presence known if any were foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Are we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? The preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway. 'Twould surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. Beg your pardon? You foresaw this eventuality and did not to prevent it? I told Papalimo I suppose I could have reported things to my affiliate earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Reimu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Guardians came tramping through the forest. And so long as Castrum Orion stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing to have their guardian deity at hand. In short, Eden and I are in agreement. The actions of the forest folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain that observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers into the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Oda drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the tree. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, quickened their effort to summon their god. They am put in mind of Titan and the kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for a primal's coming. Indeed, one cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development doesn't afford us a unique opportunity. Ayaya! Joey, thanks for the sub! The Prime Gaming sub, oh my! There is through your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder, might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity? If Reimu can be convinced of our intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. Prime Gaming. We found hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have been at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can. Let us continue this discussion anon. You must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Reimu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Ceres. Pray report to Commander Hulwa at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope for a peaceful resolution to this matter, experience suggests that your meeting with the Lord of Leven will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow Scions will of course lend you whatever support you require. How's Final Fantasy? It's actually really fucking good.